Hindi ko masama sabihin.
Bako lang yun. Internet nila.
Tumayo ka kasi.
Kapag yung bunga mo, pastos, no?
Pero, abot na rin lang. Diyan lang. Diyan mo nakatayo. Ano? Ay, dito na. Ano yan? Kaya na, kaya na. Sige.
Mic test. Check. Check, check. Mic. Mic test. Check. Mic test.
Morning po.
Mic test. Mic test.
Mic check.
Check lang po natin yung naka-online. Ma'am Divine, naririnig niyo po kami, Ma'am Divine? Good morning.
Yes po, yes po. Good morning po.
Okay, thank you. Pag nag-roll call na lang po, pa-open na lang po ng camera niyo later. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, call to order. So this meeting is called to order for the pre-bid conference of the projects, no, of the 5 projects. Number one, procurement of test materials for 2023, Philippine Educational Placement Test, Special Administration, Independence Day. Number two, procurement of test materials for 2023, Philippine Educational Placement Test, Regular Administration. Number three, procurement of test materials for 2023 National Achievement Test for Grade 6 or not G6. Number four, procurement of test materials for 2023 qualifying examination in Arabic language and Islamic studies. And lastly, procurement of test materials for 2023 early language, literacy, and numeracy assessment. So again, good morning. I am the back for Vice Chairperson, Attorney Christian Rivero, presiding. So this meeting is now called to order. So back Secretariat, are we now ready to transact business?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Yes, Mr. Chair, the Bids and Awards Committee for this project is under the Bids and Awards Committee 4. The chairperson is Director Rusty C. Osias, and the vice chairperson, which is the one who will preside today, is Director Christian E. Rivero. Joining him are the following. First, we have Director Marivic Liano, provisional back member. Good morning, Director. And joining us also online, we have Ma'am Divina David. Good morning, Ma'am Divine.
Good morning po. Good morning po, Sir Vice Chair.
Thank you, Ma'am Divine. Mr. Chair, we already have a quorum and the back secretariat is now ready to take the minutes of this conference. Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Secretariat. So therefore, this presiding chair now certifies that a quorum is present to transact business. So can we also at least identify who are currently here face to face and virtually?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Joining us also for this conference, we have the end user representative from Bureau of Education Assessment, Mr. Percival Mangahas Gonzalez. Good morning, Sir Percy. And from the back secretariat, we have Mr. Rodrin Balya, Mr. Carlo Medina, Mr. Joshua Mercado, Mr. John Esguerra, and yours truly, Lauro L. Roberto Jr. Mr. Chair, from our perspective bidders, may we request each to please approach the mic and introduce yourself by stating your name and the company you are representing. Thank you. Can we start here?
Good morning. Joel De La Peña from Metrocolor Corporation.
Numeracy from Cyrex Corporation.
Good morning, Roy Amorao from Trimega Business International.
Sherry Neo for Impressionista Publishing.
Good morning, Concepcion Vergara, PNM Printing Services.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Vanessa Nagor from Midtown Printing Company.
Good morning, I'm Cha Andalida from Midtown Printing Company Incorporated.
Good morning, I'm Luz Sulit of Printwell.
Good morning, everyone. Julie K. Palabello from Printwell.
Good morning po. Edlea Manalastas from Kasapi Kaagapay Marketing Corporation.
Hello everyone. Good morning. I'm Jason Flores from Jericho Pin Publishing.
Good morning everyone. Glenda Cabanos from Bloom Books Inc.
Good morning po, Joby Del Rosario from Bloom Books Inc.
Morning po, I'm Len Villanueva from Bloom Books also. Thank you.
That's all for the participants, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you for all our bidders for attending this pre-bid conference. So, Secretariat, can you please brief us as to the details of this procurement?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. But before we start, Mr. Chair, can we have a short prayer to be led by Mr. Joshua Mercado?
Okay.
Let us pray. Loving Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour asking for your blessing and help us we are gathered together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work. Help us to work together and encourage each other to excellence. We ask that we will challenge each other to reach higher and farther, to be the best we can be. We ask this in the name of Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Joshua, for that holy prayer. Mr. Chair, for these proceedings, we have invited observers through our letter dated June 2, 2023. We have invited the civil society organization such as NAMFREL and SAEA Foundation Incorporated, Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and GWATCH. We also invited the Commission on Audit. Unfortunately, no one in attendance. The end user for this project is the Bureau of Education Assessment, particularly the Education Assessment Division, or BEA EAD. The source of fund is current funds. It is 2023 NASBE. The back through its secretariat advertised the invitation to bid simultaneously at PhilJEP's, DepEd website, Facebook, and DepEd Bulletin Board on June 2, 2023. This private conference is the initial forum where the procuring entities' representatives as well as the bidders discuss the different aspects of this procurement at hand. This is to clarify and address bidders' question on different aspects of the procurement at hand, and for bidders to fully understand the requirements. Note that any statement issued shall not modify the terms unless in writing and issued through a bid bulletin. So this private conference has 5 different projects. First, the approved budget for the contract for the procurement of special PEPT. We have a total ABC of 10.2 million, broken down into 3 lots. For lot 1, printing of test materials, 4.1 million. For lot 2, printing of scannable answer sheets, 2 million. For lot 3, delivery and retrieval of test materials, 4 million. For the second project, we have the regular PEPT, having a total ABC of 12.8 million. For lot 1, printing of test materials, 4.4 million. For lot 2, printing of answer sheet, 3.7 million. For lot 3, delivery and retrieval of test materials, 4.7 million. The third project is the National Achievement Test, or NAT Grade 6. A total budget of 16.8 million, broken down into 3 lots. For lot 1, for test materials, we have 7.4 million. For lot 2, we have the answer sheets, 5.9 million. For lot 3, delivery and retrieval of the test materials, 3.4 million. For our fourth project, which is the QEALIS, or QEALIS, a total ABC of 2.4 million, broken down into 2 lots. For lot 1, test materials, 1.7 million. For lot 2, Designing of printing of scannable answer sheets 749,243 and 25 centavos. Our fifth project is what we call ELLNA or ELLNA, having a total EBC of 73 million broken down into three lots. For lot number 1, test booklets, 41.9 million. For lot 2, scannable answer sheets, 20.1 million. And for lot 3, delivery and retrieval of test materials, 10.9 million. The BAC, through its secretariat, started issuing the bidding documents last June 2, 2023. The bidding documents may be downloaded at the following website: notices.philjobs.gov.ph and at www.deped.gov.ph. The cost of the bidding documents are as follows. For the project special PEPT, Lot 1, 10,000, Lot 2, 5,000, Lot 3, 10,000. For regular PEPT, Lot 1, 8,500. For Lot 2, 7,300. For Lot 3, 9,200. For Lot G6, 11,000 for Lot 1, 8,800 for Lot 2, and 5,200 for Lot 3. For QEALIS, Lot 1, 3,500, Lot 2, 1,500. And for ELLNA, 28,700 for Lot 1, 13,800 for Lot 2, and 7,500 for Lot 3. And as of June 8, yesterday, we don't have yet prospective bidders who bought the bidding documents. But this private conference is open to all interested parties who have not or have bought the bidding documents. Now, going to the salient points of the bidding documents, under the invitation to bid and instructions to bidder, the prospective bidder should have completed within a period of 5 years immediately preceding the deadline for submission of bids, a single largest completed contract or SLCC similar to the contract to be bid, and the value of which adjusted, if necessary, by the bidder to current prices using the PSA or Philippine Statistics Authority Consumer Price Index must be 25% of the ABC to be bid. In the event the prospective bidders have not a single largest contract, they also have the option to submit an aggregate contract, at least 2 similar contracts, but the total of these aggregate contracts must be equivalent to at least 25% of the ABC to be bid for. One of those contracts must be 12.5% of the ABC to be bid for. For the purposes of track record requirement, the SLCC or dot contract must be similar to the project. Now, for the project special PEPT, regular PEPT, NAT G6, and ELLNA, for Lot 1, the contract must be similar to printing of test booklet with quarantine facilities and quarantined personnel. For Lot 2, printing of scannable answer sheets and processing of examination results using scannable answer sheets. For Lot, delivery and retrieval of classified and or confidential test materials. For the project QEALIS, for Lot 1, the similar contract must be printing of test booklet with quarantine facilities and quarantined personnel. For Lot 2, printing of scannable answer sheets and processing of examination results using scannable answer sheets. Again, for this purpose, the similar contract should have been completed within 5 years immediately preceding the deadline for submission. Under the bid datasheet ITB Clause 7.1, subcontracting shall not be allowed. And under ITB Clause 9, A request for clarification must be in writing and submitted to at least 10 calendar days before the deadline set for the submission and receipt of bids, and must be addressed to the chairperson of BAC 4, Director Rusty Osillas, at the address of the BAC Secretariat. You can email your query at depedsecretariat@bacssecretariat@deped.gov.ph. Consistent with Section 22.5.3 of the revised IRR of RA 9184, posting on PhilJobs and at the procuring entity's website of any supplemental and bid bulletin shall be considered sufficient notice to all prospective bidders or parties concerned. Under ITB Clause 11, the documents comprising the bid for financial component, the second envelope shall contain a financial documents for the bid, and the bid form and price schedule shall be per lot as prescribed in the forms provided in the bidding documents. Under ITB Clause 12, the price of the goods shall be quoted delivered duties paid or DDP. Bid prices should have been written in 2 decimal places only. Bid prices that are written in more than 2 decimal places shall be rounded off. Results of evaluation that will exceed the ABC shall be a ground for rejection of the bids. For the ITB Clause 14.1, which is for the bid security, the bidders has an option to submit a bid security in the form of a bid securing declaration or any of the following forms provided in the bidding documents. The amount of such bid security in the form of first cashier's check or manager's check, bank draft, bank guarantee, or irrevocable letter of credit, that must be 2% of the ABC to be bid for. If the bidder opt to use a security in the form of surety bond, that must be 5% of the ABC to be bid for. The exact amount are provided in the bidding documents for each project, for the special PEPT, for the regular PEPT, for NAT G6, for QEALIS, and for ELLNA. Now, for the bid securities, other than the bid securing declaration, shall be turned over to the DepEd Cash Division for custody. The bid securing declaration shall be under the custody of the BAC Secretariat. Bid security shall not contain any deletion, crossing out, expunction, or any form of correction. Otherwise, DepEd may reject such security in such intercalation, superimposition, or alteration that affects any material information or feature of the document. For ITB Clause 15, prospective bidders shall enclose their original eligibility and technical documents in a sealed envelope marked as Original Technical Proposal. Copies thereof shall be similarly sealed in envelopes marked as Copy 1, Technical Proposal, and Copy 2, Technical Proposal. In addition, the USB flash drive containing the soft copy of the original eligibility and technical documents must be marked as USB flash drive. The said envelopes containing the original and the copies and the flash drive shall then be enclosed in one single envelope marked as Technical Proposal. On the other hand, the original of their financial documents shall be enclosed in another sealed envelope marked as Original Financial Proposal. Copies thereof of that financial proposal shall be similarly sealed in envelopes marked as Copy 1 Financial Proposal and Copy 2 Financial Proposal. The USB flash drive containing the soft copy of the original financial document shall be marked as USB flash drive. The said envelopes containing the original and the copies and the flash drive shall be then enclosed in one single envelope marked as financial proposal. Further, the envelopes marked as technical proposal and financial proposal shall be enclosed and or sealed in an outer envelope marked as mother envelope. Any discrepancy between the hard or the paper copies and the copies contained and as presented in the USB flash drive shall be a ground for disqualification. Original copies of the Class A eligibility documents or legal documents such as the SEC, the DTI, or the CDA registration certificate and the mayor's permit may not be submitted on the date and the time of the submission of bids. However, the bidder must be able to present such original copies during post-qualification on demand by the BAC or its duly representatives for validation. Now, to facilitate the receipt and the classification of all the bid envelopes, mother envelopes shall be color red. The inner envelope containing the proposal for the technical shall be color blue. The inner envelope containing the financial proposal shall be color green. And the post-qualification document shall be color brown. Post-qualification documents may be submitted during the bid opening, but this does not disqualify bidders who will not submit post-qualification documents during bid submission. Note that each bidder shall submit 3 paper copies, 1 original and 2 copies of its bids, and 2 USB flash drives or electronic copies for the 1 technical component and 1 financial component. The e-copies of the price schedule must be in the form of Excel and PDF. Unsealed or unmarked bid envelopes shall not be or shall be rejected. However, bid envelopes that are not properly sealed and marked as required in the bidding documents shall be accepted, provided that the bidder or its duly authorized representative shall acknowledge such condition of the bid as submitted. The BAC shall not assume any or no responsibility for the misplacement of the contents of the improperly sealed and marked bid or for its premature opening. Online submission of bids is not allowed. This slide is demonstrating on how you will mark and seal your bid and the color of the envelopes. For the computation of your net financial contracting capacity, the formula is provided under ITB Clause 19.5 of the bidding documents. If the prospective bidder's NFCC computation is not sufficient, they have an option to submit a committed line of credit, which must be 10% of the ABC to be bid for, provided that if the same is issued by a foreign, universal, or commercial bank, and it shall be confirmed or authenticated by a local, universal, or commercial bank. In case the bidder will bid for more than one lot, the bidder shall indicate the lots to be bid for in order of priority or preference following the form prescribed in the bidding documents. As has said the formula or the computation for the net financial contracting capacity is provided under ITB Clause 19.5 of the bidding documents. Now, for the post-qualification requirements, within a non-extendable period of 5 calendar days from receipt by the bidder of the notice from the back that it submitted the lowest calculated bid or LCB, the bidder shall submit the following requirements. First is the latest and business tax returns. These are printed copies of the electronically filed income tax and business tax returns with copies of their respective payment confirmation forms for the immediately preceding calendar or tax year from the authorized agent bank. Only tax returns filed and tax paid through the BIR Electronic Filing and Payment System or EFPS shall be accepted. Note that the latest income and business tax returns are those within last 6 months preceding the date of the submission. In addition to the post-qualification documents, there are additional requirements for each of the project. Now, for the additional requirement for the project special PEPT, hold on. The additional requirements for each of the project are provided in the bidding documents under ITB Clause 20.1. So magbigay lang po tayo ng example for one project. Dahil po ito. Pero each of the project ay meron po tayong additional requirements. So for lot number 1, a sworn statement stating that the bidder or the printer has no previous terminated contract due to the default of the bidder or the printer with any government agency or private institution within last 5 years from the date of bid opening. A letter specifying the exact location of plant with existing quarantine facilities and warehouse to be used for the project. A list of printing, stitching, numbering, packaging, and labeling machines, equipment in excellent running condition to be used for the project with its quantity and capacity. A list of personnel with following information: the name, the age, the gender, and the corresponding job description. A copies of recent NBI or police or NICA clearance of new employees or non-regular personnel of good moral character involved in the project. A copies of recent NBI, police, NICA clearance of permanent or regular employee or a certification from the bidder or printer that the regular or permanent employees who will be involved in the project are of good moral character and the above mentioned clearances were required and complied when they were hired. Samples for packaging materials, that is the 2-ply boxes, double wall, 350 pounds, and the plastic bag with a gauge 3, the pallet stretch film, and the plastic twine straps together with the clear tape and packing tape. That is all for lot 1. For lot 2, a letter specifying the exact location of plant and warehouse to be used for the project. a list of OMR machines with built-in barcode readers, desktop, laptop computers, servers, pre-printing, printing, numbering, perfor- perforating, pack, packing, and labeling machine equipment in excellent running condition to be used for the project. A list of personnel with corresponding job description, age, and gender, copies of the recent NBI, police, NICA clearance of new employees or non-regular personnel of good moral character involved in the project, copies of recent NBI, police, NICA clearance or permanent or regular employee or a certification from the bidder or the printer that the regular or permanent employees who will be involved in the project are of good moral character and the above mentioned clearances were required and complied during the time of they were hired. A sample for a packing materials, 2-ply boxes, plastic bag, stretch pallet film, plastic twine, straps, clear tape, and packing tape. For lot number 3, a letter specifying the main office address of the bidder or forwarder and enumerating their branches, offices, outlets nationwide. A list of all their vehicles, whether owned, leased, or rented, or legally in possession, together with proof of ownership, contract of lease, rental, or contract of usufruct, as the case may be. A list of personnel with corresponding job description, age, and gender. Copies of recent NBI, police, NICA clearance of new employees or non-regular personnel of good moral character involved in the project. Copies of recent NBI, police, NICA clearance of regular or permanent employee or certification from the bidder or the printer or the forwarder that the regular or permanent employees who will be involved in the project are of good moral character and the above clearances or the mentioned clearances were required or complied during when they were hired. Last, a letter of commitment showing or indicating and signifying that the forwarder or the courier will strictly follow all security requirements and mode of transportation. So those are the additional requirements for the post-qualification. I just presented one of the additional documents or additional requirements for one project. Basically, those are similar to other projects such as for the regular PEPT, NAT G6, QEALIS, and ELLNA. During post-qualification, upon demand by the BAC or its representative, a bidder with the lowest calculated bid shall be able to present or submit the following. For the documents to verify or support its statement of ongoing and or the LCC, SLCC, which may consist of the following: appropriate and clear or duly signed contracts, purchase orders, agreements, notices of award, job orders, or notices to proceed with the corresponding duly signed certificate of completion, delivery receipts, inspection and acceptance reports, certificate of final acceptance or official receipts. For validation purposes, original copy of the Class A eligibility documents, a certified true copy of documents as issued by the certifying or authorized agency. If the BAC verifies any of these deficiencies due to the bidder's fault or negligence, the BAC shall disqualify the bidder from the award for the procurement of goods. In case there is a foreign bidders, a certificate of authentication from the Department of Foreign Affairs shall be required for each document submitted, for each document that they submitted. That is the Class A documents or its equivalent that are written in foreign language, translated to English, and duly authenticated by the appropriate Philippine Foreign Service establishment or post or the equivalent office having jurisdiction over the foreign bidders' affairs in the Philippines. To facilitate the post-qualification, the bidder at its option may submit in advance, that is on the deadline for the submission of bids and the above or the post-qualification requirements and other documents required in Section 2 ITB Clause 20.1. So if the bidder submit the documents in advance for post-qualification, the envelope must be color brown and marked as follows. ITB clause or ITB 20.1 documents the name of the project, the bid opening date, and the name of the bidder. Failure to submit the requirements for post-qualification within the required time frame or a finding against the veracity of any such documents or other documents submitted for the project shall be a ground for disqualification of the bidder for the award and the enforcement of the bid securing declaration. For the special condition of the contract of the bidding documents under clause 2.2, the method and conditions of payment to be made to the supplier through the government disbursement procedure shall be within 60 days after the date of acceptance of good at the project site and upon submission of the documents under the contract, and that must be as follows. The supplier may submit a request for payment based on the progress reports, which shall be attached to the progress billing and include the following. First, the actual quantity of goods delivered based on the schedule of delivery and other relevant terms and conditions of the contract. The duly signed delivery receipts, the duly signed inspection and acceptance reports, including certification by supplier as approved by the duly authorized DepEd representative that the goods have been delivered and or properly installed and commissioned in order with or in accordance with the contract. Other documents in support of a request for payment may be required by DepEd pursuant to existing disbursement or accounting and auditing rules and procedures. For the payment schedule for the project special PEPT and regular PEPT for lot number 1, 100% of the contract price shall be paid to the supplier upon completion of printing, packaging, labeling, and delivery of test booklets and non-classified materials and test administration. Still for special PEPT and regular PEPT for lot number 2, 50% of the contract price shall be paid to the supplier upon completion of printing, packaging, labeling, inspection, and delivery of scannable answer sheets and administration of the test. Then the last 50% of the contract shall be paid to the supplier upon complete processing, printing, packing, labeling, inspection, and delivery of certificate of ratings and processing of statistical data output requirements. For lot number 3, 40% of the contract price shall be paid to the supplier upon complete delivery of test materials. Another 40% of the contract price shall be paid to the supplier upon completion of retrieval of test materials, and the remaining 20% of the contract price shall be paid to the supplier upon complete delivery of certificate of ratings. Payment schedule for the project not grade 6 and ELLNA. For lot number 1, 100% of the contract price shall be paid to the supplier upon completion of printing, packing, labeling, and delivery of test booklets and non-classified materials and test administration. For lot number 2, 50% of the contract price shall be paid to the supplier upon completion of the printing, packing, labeling, inspection, and delivery of scannable answer sheets and administration of the tests. And the other 50% shall be paid to the supplier upon completing processing, printing, packing, labeling, inspection, and delivery of test result and processing of statistical data requirements. And for lot number 3, 50% of the contract price shall be paid of the supplier upon complete delivery of test materials, and the remaining 50% of the contract price shall be paid to the supplier upon completion of the retrieval of test booklet. Now for the project QEALIS, the payment schedule are as follows. For lot number 1, 100% of the contract price shall be paid to the supplier upon completion of printing, packing, labeling, inspection, and delivery of test booklets and test materials. And for lot number 2, 100% of the contract price shall be paid to the supplier upon completion of printing, packing, labeling, inspection, and delivery of answer sheets and test materials, operating, test administration, and processing of test results and statistical and output requirements. Please take note of the Clause 2.2. The supplier must furnish a copy of the above-mentioned documents to DepEd Accounting and the end user through the BEA, EAD, and the Contract Management Division of the Procurement Service Central Office. Payment shall be subject to warranty provision in the form of either retention money in an amount equivalent to 5% of every progress payment or the contract price, or a special bank guarantee in the amount equivalent to 5% of the contract price as provided under Section 62.1 of RA 9184 and its revised IRR. Release of retention money shall be at the expiration of the warranty period or the remaining amount in case it has been utilized pursuant to the warranty provision. For ITB Clause 3 or the SCC Clause 3, the performance security shall be posted in favor of DepEd and shall be forfeited in the event it is established that the supplier is in default of any of its obligation under the contract. The supplier shall be responsible for the extension of its performance security and or for the renewal of its performance security whenever necessary and without need of prior notice or instruction from DepEd to ensure that it is in force and effect for the whole duration of the contract delivery period and until a certificate of final acceptance is issued. The performance security shall not contain any deletion, crossing out, expansion, or any form of correction. Otherwise, DepEd may reject such security in any such intercalation or alteration that affects any material information or feature of the document. Mr. Chair, before I proceed, may we acknowledge the presence of the observers from the Office of the Undersecretary for Procurement. We have Mr. Flores and Mr. Joseph Umanga. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Secretariat also, I think, acknowledge those who came in late, the bidders.
Yeah. Can we also acknowledge the latecomers? Can you please approach the mic and state your name and the company you are representing?
So that it will be reflected in the record.
Good morning po. Hazel Labaro po from Metrocolor Corporation.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm Catherine Silva from FEP Printing Corporation. Thank you.
Sige, proceed, Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Under GCC Clause 5, the warranty, a 3-month comprehensive and on-site warranty for the goods will be applied. The said warranty period shall recon from the date of the issuance of the certificate of final acceptance by the DepEd that the delivered goods have been duly inspected and accepted. The obligation for the warranty shall be covered by retention money in an amount equivalent to 5% of the payment. Replacement and/or repair of test materials shall only be applicable if printing defects or non-compliance with the technical specifications are covered prior to the test administration. Replacement or repair of test materials shall be made within 5 calendar days upon claim or request thereof. For the schedule of requirements, for the project Special PEPT, lot number 1, the delivery period shall be made 14 calendar days. For the test booklets 1, 10 calendar days for the test booklets and 4 calendar days for the non-classified materials to be delivered at the school's division offices. For lot number 2, the scannable answer sheets has a duration or delivery period of 6 calendar days for Luzon, 15 calendar days for Visayas and Mindanao, to be delivered in division offices. And for lot number 3, still in lot number 2, for certificate of ratings, the duration will be 15 calendar days. The delivery, matching, and pickup schedules is attached in the bidding documents as Annex D. Now for the project regular PEPT, for lot number 1, 10 calendar days for Luzon, 15 calendar days for Visayas and Mindanao. For lot number 2, for scannable answer sheet, 10 calendar days for Luzon and 15 calendar days for Visayas and Mindanao. For the certificate of ratings, 15 calendar days. Again, the delivery, matching, and pickup schedule are attached as Annex D in the allocation list of the bidding documents. For the project not G6 or not grade 6, for lot number 1, the delivery period must be within August 2023. That includes the non-classified materials. For lot number 2, the scannable answer sheet shall also be delivered within August 2023. That includes the school headers. For lot number 3, the delivery of the not grade 6 test materials must be within August to September 2023, and for the retrieval within October to November 2023. Again, the allocation lists are provided in Annex D of the bidding documents. For the project QEALIS, for lot number 1, must be within 60 calendar days from the date of receipt of the NTP or the notice to proceed. For lot number 2, The scannable answer sheets, as well as the certificate of ratings, must be within 90 calendar days from the date of receipt of the NTP. And for the last project, ELLNA, the delivery schedule for lot number 1 shall be made between August to September 2023. That includes the national or the non-classified materials. For lot number 2, the scannable answer sheets, as well as the school headers, must be delivered within August to September 2023. And for lot number 3, the delivery must be within August to September, while the retrieval of the test booklet must be within September to October 2023. Now for the technical specification, last part of the bidding documents, for the project special PEPT, under general specification, printing of test booklet, non-classified materials, scannable answer sheets, and certificate of ratings must be clean and clear. Item number 2. This is item not for lot. Item number 2. Printing of examinee information and individual test results in the certificate of ratings. The form must be confidential. That is for lot number 1 and 2. And item number 3, the delivery, retrieval, and warehousing of test materials before and after the test administration must be safe. That goes for all the project, the regular PEPT, the NAT grade 6, the QEALIS, and ELLNA. The detailed specification for each project are provided under Section 7 of the bidding documents. Be reminded of no contact rule under Section 32.1 of the IRR of RA 9184. Members of the BAC, including its staff and personnel, as well as its secretariat and TWG, are prohibited from making or accepting any communication with any bidder regarding the evaluation of their bids until the issuance of the NOA or the notice to proceed. However, the BAC, through its secretariat, may ask in writing the bidder for a clarification of its bid. All responses to requests for clarification shall be in writing. So the deadline for submission and opening of bids will be on June 21, 2023 at exactly 8:30 a.m. here at the PSC Conference Room, 4th floor, Building A, Phil Sports Complex, Meralco Avenue, Pasig City. Late bid shall not be accepted. If there are still any questions after this pre-bid, you can still write your clarification, but the deadline for submission of your clarification will only be on until 5 p.m. today. You can email it at depedsecretariat@deped.gov.ph. So, kung ayaw nyo abutan ng 5 p.m., tanungin nyo na lahat ngayon. Please use your email or official business email in sending your queries or clarifications. That will be all, Mr. Chair.
Okay, before we declare the open forum wherein the bidders may ask questions, no, yung hindi klaro, and kindly note the directive, or rather the reminder of our secretariat that you have until 5 p.m. okay, to raise questions as to the requirements, no? You have to also consider the timelines, no? But before we proceed, I think just for the record, I think we have some bidders who came in late. Please kindly identify yourself. I think Caesar na nakared. Were you able to? And then the lady also at the back. Okay, thank you.
Good morning, sir. Representing Angelica Salamat for Grand Smart Enterprise.
Okay. So lahat na po ba ay at least for the record ay pakilala na? Okay. So kung okay na po tayo, if there are questions, so the floor is now open to answer some of your queries. So open na po. Diyan po yung mic. May katanungan po ba tayo? Sige, yes ma'am. Pakilala po uli and then yung may tanong yung mic ibigay mo na. Dito naman yung ating ano.
Good morning po, sir. Good morning, everyone. Question lang po regarding dun sa single largest contract. Kasi stated po na for 5 years. So, pwede po bang humingi na extension? Kasi, hello? Hello? Opo. Sir, good morning. With regards to the single largest contract, kasi since nag-pandemic po tayo, may I just request for the extension kasi 5 years lang po ang nakalagay. Last Monday, nag-preview din po kami sa textbook. So, it's 10 years. So, if ever lang po, pwede po kaya.
So, what is your proposal to extend it to what? How many?
7 to 10 years.
7 to 10
Apo.
years. What says the secretariat and for the end user? Yes.
In response to the question of extending or the request to extend the validity of the SLCC, the 5 years is the general or the default validity of SLCC. However, granting the extension of SLCC is subject to the approval of the Bids and Awards Committee.
Thank you po, sir. And then number 2 question po, yung regarding sa ano po, sa yung, kasi di ba nakaano po tayo sa notice to proceed. So are we going to, yung sa duration ng delivery schedule natin, yung mga 90 days, 120 calendar days, are we going to i-ano ba natin yun, i-base ba natin sa notice to proceed or sa approval, AMP, authority to mass print? Kasi syempre minsan meron na po tayong notice to proceed while we don't have yet the final approval of the materials. So yun lang po. Thank you.
Yung authority to mass produce, applicable lang po yan sa textbook. But for national assessments which are confidential in nature, dala-dala po yan ng mga tao ng BEA na maka-quarantine sa inyo. So once nadala niya po yan, ready for production na po yan.
Thank you, sir. So okay lang po ba na i-receive namin yung notice to proceed once meron na pong approval na?
Opo.
Okay.
Most of the time naman po, kung timely po yung issuance ng notice to proceed, within a few days magpapastart na po kami ng printing. Kasi we have specific target dates of test administration.
Sige po. Thank you, sir.
Hello. For the end user, yung sinabi po yung naka-quarantine sa amin, ano po yung i-quarantine na requirement? Quarantine requirements po.
Quarantine requirements po. Since this is a confidential po, again, I am emphasizing that the prospective bidders or suppliers will print highly confidential or classified materials po. These are national assessments which are uh, requires quarantine printing. Ang quarantine po natin, meron po tayong Bay representatives na quarantine po doon for the entire duration of the printing period. Kasama rin po yung quarantine ng mga tao o personnel ng printer. For example po, ang requirement natin, 50 people. For example lang po, 50 persons or workers ang required natin to finish the project. Yung pong 50 na tao na yun, wala po yung labasan for the entire duration of the project. Walang communication outside. Wala po tayong cellphones. Wala po tayong access to anything. Yes po, para po tayong nasa bahay ni Kuya.
Pati po yung representative po ninyo. Ano po,
Yes
meron din
po, wala
kayo
pong labasan yon. And isa po yun sa purpose para we can check na yung tao nyo po hindi rin talaga makakalabas, walang access to anything na makakapag-communicate, lalo na yung mga cellphones na pwedeng mag-picture ng contents ng mga test materials, bawal na bawal po yun. That's why we require quarantine printing po. Same with the other government institutions po ito like PRC, civil service. Ito po ang practice pag examinations.
That's for all lots being discussed today.
Yes po, for all lots po.
Lots being discussed today.
Sir, good morning po. Luz from Print 12 po. Since 5 po yung ibibid po natin, pwede pong isang eligibility requirements na lang po yung gagamitin namin. O isa-isa po per per test paper. Sabay-sabay. Tapos kung isa-isa din po yung bid securing po niya, ganun po. Thank you, sir.
According to the back secretariat, for each project and each lot, isang technical, isang financial. Upper.
At saka ilamang financial po. Sige, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sirs. Good morning, everyone. This is regarding the submission of bids po. Required po ba na ang kung sino yung signatory sa bid document, sila din yung mag-attend during the opening of bids? Or not necessarily?
Hindi naman. I think as long as the one who would attend is really the representative of the bidder, SPA or kung ano. So hindi naman hindi necessarily yung boss nyo yung pupunta. Okay.
Thank you po.
Mr. Chair, before we proceed, may we acknowledge the presence of our COA representatives. We have Mr. Leo Bautista and Mr. Mark Lawrence Balang.
Good morning
sirs.
po. Good morning.
Okay,
Okay.
again, next. Bali na sa open, ano na po tayo? Question, open forum. Question and answer.
May question pa po kayo? Sige po.
Sir, regarding po dun sa machine requirement, kasi dun po sa technical specs, nakalagay po with offset. Dito naman po sa required printing requirement, naka-web. Sasuggest po sana namin, sir, kung pwedeng web kasi mas mabilis yung process ng printing. At the same time, mas makakasave pa po tayo. Instead po na offset.
Yung we require both machines. Yung web po most of the time sa test booklet natin ginagamit yan. Yung offset pwede rin po natin gamitin yan sa non-classified materials at dun sa answer sheet po.
What about the number of machines po, sir? kung ang capacity naman po ng isang machine kaya mamimit po yung requirement natin for a day. For example, sir, 3 offset machines yung requirement. Kung kaya naman po ng isang web or dalawa, tapos po yung sa cutting, yung sa cutter po, sir, which is 4 times mas mabilis compare po doon sa digital cutter.
As much as possible, we want to have this the requirements kasi po or more kung okay sa amin kasi in the case na mag-bug down yung machine nyo, for example meron nga kayong machine isa which is equivalent to 3 machines. In the event that during the printing mag-bug down o masira yon, magkakaproblema po kami sa date of test administration. Again po, ang national assessment po kasi is naka-timetable na po ito, naka-announce na po ito sa field, nagre-ready na po ang lahat ng schools. So, yung readiness po ng test materials ay napakahalaga sa amin. So, sa amin po, kung we prefer na i-comply itong mga number of machines na to or more, kung okay po, kung mas marami po kayo.
Okay.
So we are clear to that regardless kung ano ang capacity niya, basta yung number of the machine is the important. So kahit man kung dalawa yung hinihingi namin na machine pero kaya ng isang machine niyo, that is still not acceptable. What we are requiring is the number of machine. Okay? And the capacity, of course the capacity. Pero kung kaya ng isang machine mo, yung 5 machine namin, hindi pa rin namin tatanggapin. Basta we are talking about the quantity and the capacity. Are we clear on that? Okay.
Po kasi sa textbook, for example, sumasali po kayo sa textbook, in the event na masira yung machine nyo, habang nagpiprint kayo, okay lang kasi wala pong date of test administration yun eh. Wala po kayong madedelay. So, maaaring ma-LD lang po kayo. Pero sa national assessment po, hindi po kasi pwede yan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Sir Percy.
May questions pa? Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Chair. If hindi pa ba si Ma'am Divine? Apa,
Yes
wala
po,
pa po
yes.
wala pa tayong resolution do sa request ni PEP about the extension of the single largest contract. So, to 10 years. So,
Are we supposed to resolve it now?
yes, based on the recommendation of the end user, can we allow more than 5 years just to widen the... Okay.
Leaders, no? So, do I hear a motion to adopt?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I would like to make the motion to make a resolution that we allow single calculated completed contract 7 to 10 years back because of the pandemic.
Yeah. Do you hear a second?
I second the motion.
So it has been moved and seconded that the ano ba yan? Single largest completed contract is will be extended from that of 5 years to 10 years. Ilan ba? 10 years.
10 years or 7? 10 years. 10 years.
10 years, 10 years. So kindly note of that, Secretariat.
Noted, Mr. Chair. That will be included in our bid bulletin.
Wala na? So, again, just to wrap up for the Secretariat, kindly remind again the dates which our bidder should strictly observe. No?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
speak.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the request for the number of years extension is only good for this project Yes po. Clarification lang po.
This is good for the 5 projects precisely because yun nga, what was raised by one of our bidders. We also have to consider that for the last 3 years, I think in terms of the contract, no, really it might be a little bit challenging. So I think it's also a recognition that we may have to allow more bidders, no. So I think this is only for this project.
Yeah, thank you po, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay. So again, Secretariat, we are as to the last reminders as to the dates, no?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So be informed that our deadline for the submission and opening of bids will be on June 21, 2023 at exactly 8:30 a.m. here in PSC conference room. Late bids shall not be accepted. In the event you still have questions or query, you can write us and submit it through our email at depedcentral.backsecretariat@deped.gov.ph, but only until 5 p.m. today. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so you have only until 5 p.m. Again, the reminder for the bidders, as mentioned by our end user, that the dates are very critical. So in fact, our field offices are already in preparation for this test. So this is why we are a little, I think, more strict, no, in terms of the machine requirements as well as to the timelines, no. So if there are no other concerns, may I hear a motion to adjourn the pre-bid conference?
Motion to adjourn the pre-bid conference, Mr. Chairman.
I second the motion.
So we are adjourned. Thank you po.